And hello, late tea time podders around the world. We're majorly excited because it is another major. Always look forward to these. We're back with you, obviously, every single day as we go through the US Open 2024. So we'll do the tournament preview today and we're back ahead of round 2, 3 and the final round on Sunday. It's James and Dave T with you. DT, always look forward to the majors, don't we? Are we looking forward to this one?
We are very much so. I think everybody is because of the course. Pinehurst #2 in North Carolina seems to be a bit of a star already. I think that the players are going to have to grind away. There's all this talk of putts going off the green and things like that, and the green's been so hard to hold, and it being a kind of more unusual US Open test. But I think. We like to see something different. You can get a bit samey on the PGA Tour where it's all sort of manicured and everything. But this has a more sort of wilder look.
You like it rough and ready, don't you, Dave?
Yes. And then on the greens, these sort of upturned saucers where the balls just sort of run away, it gives so much creativity to players. In practice rounds, people have been putting from a mile off the green. People have been using sort of the 3 woods, hybrid, anything they can get their hands on basically that they think's best to make the ball stay on the green, because Tiger said it, and the Schauffele said it, you can put the ball back onto the green, it goes off the other side. So fun and games.
Good stuff. Should be entertaining then, shouldn't it, as we go through? I'll bring the prices there. Scotty Scheffler, unbelievably, he's the short favourite, 11-4. Xander Schauffele, 10-1. Rory's in there at 12. You've got Colin Morikawa, my mate, he's 14-1. Victor Hovland, my mate, he's 18-1. Bryson DeChambeau, 18s as well. Ludwig Oberg, 20s. You've got Brooks Koepka in there, 25-1. It's a whole hall of fame of the best golfers right now. Tommy Fleetwood, 40s, Justin Thomas, 40s, and the rest are a wee bit bigger. Hideki is in there at 45s as well. Let's start with Scotty Scheffler. We always have to start with Scotty Scheffler these days. We talked about him on the last podcast. Is he, he's head and shoulders above the rest at the moment, hence the price. Can you take him on this week in terms of the outright plays? And if you can, how do you do it? Is there a way in to kind of defeat the Scotty juggernaut? Because he's won, was it 5 out of the last 8 tournaments he's played, and he obviously lost one of those because he was in police custody for half the round.
Yeah. and the other 2 he was runner up. So it's astonishing set of results. And even the one when he went to prison, that's bad enough, isn't it? What more do you need?
To prison.
As if that wasn't bad enough. Do you remember in round 3? It sort of ties in, because in round 3, probably when you needed your caddy most, he had a different caddy, didn't he? Because his caddy had gone off for his daughter's graduation, I think. Yeah. So, he's had. In the end, he did really well to finish 8th, I think. But he's got back on track with that win at Memorial last week. I do think he's the man to beat. I do think it is quite prudent, maybe, to put some of his staking plan just on Scotty. Maybe sort of balance it out. So if he wins, you have a winning week, because it's so much there for him. It'll test patience. It'll test straight hitting, creativity. And he's just got all of this absolutely dialed in iron play. Because if these greens are hard to hold, maybe not hard to hit, but to hold it on there. So he can do all the things that you need to do at Pinehurst. So it's just a question of, I just thought if you ran this through a simulator, like 5 times, I think he would win 2 of them.
Right.
So that kind of reflects where his odds are. So on that basis, you could argue that you probably get 3-1 still is all right.
It's a potential strategy with him, and it's a risk. But to kind of maybe avoid him at the start and hope he has a mediocre round first up, and then maybe comes from behind a little bit, so you get a slightly better price. The only trouble is with that, they're not going to lengthen his price that much, are they? Unless he slips well off the radar. Yeah,
it's not the worst idea, to be honest, because you're probably not going to be messing about with each way, so you'll still be back in win only. So you're not taking reduced each way terms. And I was doing some round 1 research, and I noticed that he's not been first round leader for 2 years. So I think we've seen in this event before, like Rory's just set out and led the way. Brooks Koepka set out and led the way. And it's like, so that their best price was clearly the one at the start. But with Scheffler, it might hang around that price, I'll just go a little bigger after round 1. So it's worth thinking about.
Thank you very much to switchwatersupplier.com for their continued support of the Late Tea Time podcast. We'll catch up with them a little bit later. If you want to save money on your business water bills, they're the people to get in touch with, switchwatersupplier.com. Let's start off then with our first bet. I've told you I've got 2 picks that I've already put some money on. Who's going first?
Well, I've done it really. Scheffler's the first one for me.
Okay. So he's
my stated plan is on Scheffler.
And like we said before, if you're backing him at 3s, 4s, 5 to 1s, and he's winning 5 out of every 8, you're ahead, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
So Scotty Scheffler is on the Late Tea Time podcast betting slip. Then I'm going to give you both of mine.
Go on. I want to hear yours because we've not discussed this off air, so I don't know.
There's no real surprise here. The 2 people I class on here as my mates, I am backing them. I think both Colin and Victor have shown signs of a resurgence. Colin's looking pretty decent at the moment, and I think Victor, after his troubles in the last major we had, looked pretty decent for much of it. I think he's doing quite a lot of work behind the scenes, and I think he's starting to regain his game with his former coach that took him to glory. So they're my 2 picks. I've just gone with my mates this week.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Morikawa as well. I think he's got outstanding chances. He's got a great record in the majors. I think he won his 3rd ever major, that USPGA, which is when he became your mate actually in 2020. Happy 4 years. Yeah. So then he's won the Open. This year he's finished 3rd and 4th in the 2 majors. I think if you're looking for the most solid each way bet of the week with a chance of the win, it's got to be Colin Morikawa. He's in great form, running up to Scheffler last week. It's like he's doing everything but win, but he's chipping away. He's getting close. He's sort of coming in and in and in and in. And at some point, he will hold the putt or hold a bunker shot or do something that will get him over the line. So I think he's got a brilliant chance. He's patient. He's got that game face. Got a good US Open record. He's not won one yet, but had a couple of really good finishes. Last 3, he's been top 15, a couple of top 10s in that. So it's all there for him, really. He's got the form, he's got the temperament. So yeah, I think you probably shop around. You can get 16 to 1 each way on him. I think he's the lock solid. And I know there's an element of kind of loyalty with your bet, but sometimes I've said, I don't know about that, but I'm absolutely fully on him this week. Colin Morikawa, yes.
I'm going to stick with Victor as well because he will win a major. He's too good not to. And I did think that at the USPGA, there were signs that he was back. He couldn't really sustain it for all 4 rounds, but he's had a bit more time to practice and work on his game since then. So I'm sticking with Victor.
Yeah, I'm not as keen about. I know a lot of good judges do like Victor this week. Ben Coley likes him. I'm just a bit suspicious that he did have a good USPGA, but I think that was quite an easy course. I want to see him try and get back to his very best on a very, very tough course. And it was a tough course last week at Memorial, and he went to pieces on the weekend. So that just made me think: is he quite there yet? Is this? Is this the course for him? I'm not so sure. I mean, couldn't put anyone off him as such, but I think there are others that I trust more.
But we do agree, though, on Colin Morikawa, and I don't think anybody disagrees on Scotty Scheffler, do they? How can you disagree on Scotty Scheffler? So they're the 2 picks that we're going to go for on the outrights then. And we're going to say, sorry.
Just quickly before we do the next bit, just on Rory McIlroy, what do we make of this then? So in the last major, news broke. He's getting divorced. Yes. The papers have been filed. Oh, dear, he's got a young family. Now it's off again. The divorce is off. So it's like, does that mean is that the kind of X factor that gets him over the line? This sort of, or is it? I don't know. Do you think it has an effect? Does it change up? To me, it does make him more likely to win than it did before. To be honest,
they say that the best is makeup. So they've made up, haven't they? So you'd imagine he's quite happy.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I don't know. It's with Rory, you are sort of looking what's going to make the difference for him to win a major after all this time, 10 years ago. And with him, you always think maybe it is something off the course like that.
I keep telling you, the best way for Rory to win a major is to stop thinking about it. He's thinking about his game too much. He's trying to do things. He's always trying to kind of prove a point. Just play golf, because you're very good at golf, Rory. Just play golf and get the lowest score you can, and then get the lowest score you can the next day, and the next day, and the next day, and you might do all right.
Well, he's made the top 10 in the last 5 US Opens. That goes under the radar a little bit. Runner-up last year. So, yeah, I think Rory backers this week have got that extra X factor that might just make the difference.
Well, I said thank you very much to switchwatersupplier.com. Here is how you can save some money. If you've got a business and you want to save money on your water bills, this is how they do it.
All golfers want to stay away from the water. That splash as your round sinks beneath the surface is never a good sound. But golf courses rely on water to keep those fairways and greens lush, for that post-round shower or the clean glass at the 19th hole. Golf courses, indeed most businesses, spend way too much money on their water bills. Switch Water Supplier can cut your water costs and help your business save money. Register now at switchwatersupplier.com. They will do all the hard work and get your business the very best price for your water supply and claim money back if you've been overcharged. Switchwatersupplier.com. Switching made simple.
Switching made simple indeed. Thank you very much to the guys at switchwatersupplier.com for their support of the Late Tea Time podcast.
Product placement, water, look.
There you go. Yeah, that's how you save water, by keeping it inside your body. That's the secret. Anyway, we've done the outrights then. Scotty Scheffler and Colin Morikawa go on to the Late Tea Time podcast betting slip. It would not be a major, Dave Tindall, if you didn't have one of your amazing make the cut ACCAs. Shall we run through one of those?
Yeah, so it landed at the Masters. It didn't land at the USPGA, but obviously we're well in profit on this bet. So here we go with this one. If you've got your odds checker open, James, you can put these in. I think there's 8 players. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so
this is on the market, yeah?
Yeah, it starts slowly and builds. So first one, Scotty Scheffler. Of course.
Well, Dave, this is where we've got you on here, isn't it?
Yeah, in-depth analysis there. I think he'll make the cut. There you go. That's why you all tuned in.
Are we going to just play that as a single at 1 to 20? Yeah.
Yeah. So remember, this is a slow burn. So you're not falling off your chair just yet. Next one, Xander Schauffele. There you go.
So we're just going to go to the top end.
Well, Scotty Scheffler, I probably don't need to read out any stats. For Schauffele, he's played 7 US Opens and finished in the top 14 in all of them. 6 of those 7 top 10s.
He's the most consistent major player of recent events, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, as if we've put this together, James, Schauffele has made the top 20 in each of the last 8 majors. So there you go. Fantastic. So he's absolute lock him in. That's a certainty just about.
Even when he's not playing his best, he's good enough to do it, isn't he?
Yeah, he's got all the elements. You see, so one bit's not quite firing, he'll get out of jail with the other bits. So brilliant majors player. So he's absolutely rock solid. The next pick, you might think, not so sure. Hideki Matsuyama to make the cut.
I've seen a mutual friend of ours discussing Hideki and fancies him to actually win it this week.
Well, I do. I've tipped him. Yeah, so I do like him. Earlier in the week, I put him up. I think his odds have come down. But if you want to back him just to make the cut, he's made the cut in the last 16 majors. How good is that? That's tremendous, isn't it? So you're on someone who you think, well, sometimes he gets a bit injured or his neck's not right, and does he pull out? No, he's made the cut in his last 16 majors. Brilliant. So he goes in.
Okay.
Next one, again, we're playing it fairly safe. Matt Fitzpatrick, US Open winner a couple of years ago, Brookline. He's made 8 of his 9 US Open cuts, so really, really good in this tournament. I think this course will really suit him as well this week. He hits it straight, good for total driving. He's got the creative short game, so he'll really like this. So put him in. Next one again, fairly obvious. Tommy Fleetwood.
Yep.
He's made the cut in his last 7 majors and 11 of the last 12. So really, really good at getting through to the weekend at this level. Good temperament as well. I think if you were sort of, you can't quite work out, if you're not, you presume they've all got sort of good stats. You can't quite work out which bit do I put the emphasis on. I would put a lot of emphasis on something you can't really measure. That's temperament. I remember the days of Retief Goosen when it was this sort of test, really, really firm and fast, and you had to be really kind of cool with it. I think Fleetwood is that. So I think it's a good strategy this week to maybe look at the players who've got that really solid temperament who won't get too high or low. So Fleetwood is that. Next one, Brooks Koepka. He'll love this grind. He was 4th here in 2014, so he's already got the course form. WS Open champion, of course. Probably this is his best major, I'd say. He's made his last 9 US Open cuts, so another ideal man for this sort of market. 3 more. Colin Morikawa, we've said enough about him, but 14th, 5th and 4th in the last 3 US Opens. He's played in 18 majors, made the cut in 15. So it's just so good, isn't he, at this level? 3rd and 4th in the last 2 majors. So lock him in. He makes the cut, which is good. And we've got 2 to go. Next one, penultimate one, Ludwig Oberg. Again, I quite like the angle of his temperament. He just looks like so cool and relaxed and nothing will faze him. 2nd at the Masters on his majors debut. He did miss the cut at the USPGA, but I just think that was a little step back, and now he'll get back on the horse and he'll be back to the good stuff again. I like him to finish top 10, but just to make the cut, that's fine. And now the one that makes it interesting, James, Tiger Woods.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Tiger, I've seen some interviews with him this week. It's always, how healthy is he? He's healthy enough to do the walk this week. It's going to be hot, but he said, look, he lives in Florida. This is how he likes it. I think there's a guy that, I'm not sure it was, a guy who in his press conference said, would you rather it be, hot and humid where it's going to be quite tough, or would you rather a bit rainy and windy? He said, when you get to my age and we get to your age, he said, pointing to the interview, we like it hot, don't we? We like hot weather. It's good for all the joints. So, yeah, Tiger goes in. I think as well, you'd say this course, it's more brain than brawn, I think. So whereas Valhalla was just whack it, and if you hit it 330 yards, well done, and all that. And Tiger probably found that a bit too long for him these days. But this is more, I don't know, more your sort of classic old school. It's almost one you want them to play with, like old-fashioned clubs, and see how they did. And Tiger, he's definitely. I mean, they always said that the best club in his bag is his mind, his brain. So I think he will use all those skills. I don't know how well it'll do overall, because the thing with Tiger, he starts to fade, doesn't he, as he puts the miles into those legs. But for 36 holes, I think this is a good market to play him in. He's 9-4 to make the cut.
Yes. Yeah.
So
you can obviously play the ACCA without him if you were worried about Tiger. But
yeah, I think the ACCA without him comes to 9-2 without Tiger.
Yeah. It makes it bigger, doesn't it? Putting Tiger in there, old Tigger
really
adds the value.
Yeah. I think with Tiger, are you getting something around 16, something like that?
Yeah, basically, just to run through the names again: Hideki, Tommy F, Matt Fitzpatrick, Scotty Zander, Colin M, Brooks, Ludwig, and Tiger. 16.83 to 1 with Bet365.
Yeah. So
if they're all there at the weekend, happy days.
Yeah, happy days. And so you could play the Tiger one. I do actually quite fancy Tiger on this course. I just think he'll love the creative test of it all. It'll be one. I think if you say to him, right, where do you want to play a US Open? Give him a few courses. I think he'd pick this one out. So yeah, hopefully. It's always great to see him play well, but I think if you are pro Tiger, I think making the cut is probably about the best you could do with it.
Is it hot and humid there?
Mm-hmm. Definitely hot and not much wind.
I hope he's got his. I hope he's got different shirts on, because he's very sweaty in that new kit he's got. Sticks to him. Yeah. Anyway, that's a totally different thing. Anyway, so we've done the make the cut Aka 16.83 to 1. It only leaves us then with the 72 hole match bet treble.
Yes.
Where you're taking us here, DT?
Yeah, so the first one's easy because it's a player I really think will do well against one who I don't think will do well at all. So, well, I just don't think it's his course. So I'm going to back Colin Morikawa to beat Bryson DeChambeau. Morikawa is 8-11. I watched DeChambeau's interview. He kept saying, he must have said this, I don't know how many times. He kept saying, what's required is boring golf. And he sort of laughed when he said it. But I don't think he likes boring golf. He likes to put on a show, and he really put on a show at Valhalla, which suited him. But I think this will just grind him down. I think he's not about boring golf. He's a showman. So I think the idea of just trying to hit the middle of the green, I think he'll go. I just think that'll be too much for him over 72 holes. Where Colin will love it.
Colin's not flamboyant. He's the other way, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's very much a sort of horses for courses won that one.
Yeah.
The second one, I'm going to go for the outsider. And I know I've talked up Ludwig Åberg, but I'm going to take Brooks Koepka to beat him. I don't think Koepka should be the underdog. He's the 11-10 underdog at Betfair. As I said, Koepka's brilliant in this major. He's got a fourth on this course. He's played in every US Open condition. It's like he stands at that first tee and he just knows, this is my kind of, this is my scene. This is my patch. Where I think Åberg, I think he'll do well, but I think Koepka, all things being equal, will beat him. I just think he'll have more the nuances that he can lean on and pick out. Where Åberg will have to kind of learn it rather quick, which I think he can do. But I think Koepka. I think if I was having another outright bet at this stage, from how I've seen the course kind of unfold, what's required, and his overall kind of record and form coming in, he'd be the other one on the outrights, I think, that's come to me sort of a bit later in the day. So yeah, Koepka to beat Åberg. And the final one, Tom Kim to beat Dustin Johnson. He's 4-5, Tom Kim. He's played in 2 US Opens, 23rd and 8th, so that's a really good start to his US Open career. I was just looking at their kind of comparison in majors. I mean, DJ used to be brilliant in majors, but since he's gone to live, he's been disastrous. So I was checking who come out on top in recent majors. So in 5 of the last 6, Tom Kim has beaten Dustin Johnson. It's a pretty healthy strike rate, that, isn't it? And I think this one will suit. Maybe DJ in the past, he could have done well here, definitely. But Tom Kim will like this. It's not too long for him. Tom Kim likes a sort of shorter. Well, it's not a short course, but it's one that'll run firm and fast, so his length isn't a problem. I just think he's coming into really nice form at the time, and DJ, he don't really know what you're going to get from him, and normally he's just sort of, don't know, his mind doesn't seem quite there, does it? So
he cuts quite a sorry figure, DJ. He kind of lopes around at the best of times, but when he lopes around when he's playing badly, it looks quite pitiful, doesn't it? It's a shame because he's such a great golfer. He's still got the shots in him, plays a great, he has a great hole, but then he just goes off the boil, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, you can't feel too sorry for him because he's got like absolutely millions of pounds. But from what he was, you feel like he's had his time, really. Some of them, McIlroy, for all that we talk about him not winning a major, he doesn't have to keep on going. He's there all the time, trying and trying. DJ just feel like he had this curve and he's just come right down it and he can't see a way back.
But for a lot of golfers, you've got a window of maybe 2 or 3 years, haven't you, where you've got to pounce. And if you miss that window, that's probably you finished, or not finished, but maybe your chances have gone.
Yeah, and there's too much bad stuff coming out of him in majors. It's like I think if your head's not there, it will be found out in a major, and especially US Open. And he could turn up and shoot 25 under on an easy course. But I think when it comes to something like this, if you're not absolutely on it, I think that's when it's going to find you out. So yeah, that troubles with Betfair. I don't know you can find the same matchups elsewhere, but as an overall rule, I mean, you'll read them out in a second, but I'd be taking on DeChambeau. I'd be very pro Morikawa, pro Koepka, and I'd be very anti Dustin Johnson.
And what's your treble worth?
That treble pays 11-2.
Okay. Beautiful. So there we go. There is our pre-tournament US Open 2024 picks. We have gone for, let's go through these. There's quite a lot of them. We've given you value today. You may question that in a few days' time when they don't land, but we have given you value today. Scotty Scheffler, obviously short, but we can't really ignore him. Colin Morikawa, and both of us fancy Colin for this one, the US Open. And then we've got DT's Make the Cut ninefold. We've gone for Hideki. We've gone for Tommy F. We have gone Fleetwood, and we've gone for Mats Fitzpatrick. We've gone for Scotty. We've gone for Xander. We've gone for Colin Morikawa, Brooks Koepka, Ludwig Åberg, and Tiger Woods. 16.83 to 1, and then the treble over 72 holes. Colin Morikawa to beat Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka to beat Ludwig Åberg, and Tom Kim to beat Dustin Johnson, 11-2. If you put those three in, obviously the prices are correct at the time that we have said them, or when DT picked them earlier today, or whatever it was. So if you have a shop around, you may find better value elsewhere. Always, though, late tea time podders, please gamble responsibly. Look after your money. Enjoy the golf with your bets riding on them. Don't make it all about the bets. And hopefully we have a little bit of success, DT, over the next few days.
Yeah, it should be great. Watch this one. Really looking forward to it.
So thank you for your time. We are going to be back with you, as I say, ahead of all three of the rounds. So the next time we will see you, we have tentatively penciled into our calendars 8:30 a.m. UK time on Friday morning. So we will see you at some stage on Friday morning ahead of the second round. Late tea time podders, good luck with all your bets, whether you follow DT or whether you go your own way. Hopefully we have a very successful US Open, and hopefully you enjoy watching it as well. So fare you well. We'll see you Friday morning, and good luck with all your bets, everybody.
Always gamble responsibly. Visit BeGambleAware.org for more information.